Graduated from Rowan University in the spring of 2022 with a sports communication and media degree. I got to actually call minor league baseball and G League basketball games while I was in school. And then I graduated, and as soon as I graduated, I went to NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And as much as I loved that experience, I miss putting on the headsets. I decided, you know what, talk is cheap. I have a laptop that's in my house, and so 21 months later, here we are, still on YouTube, calling games and building an incredible, loving community on here with the people that I call my Philly freaks with a capital P and a capital H. We go live for every single Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles game, and we do it like old school radio play-by-play style. I'm Jason Joseph, and this is Play-by-Play with JJ.
I showed a swung on barrel. Get out to right field. Bye-bye baseball.
That baby is long gone.
My friends, welcome back to another edition of Phillies Postgame Live here on Play-by-Play with JJ. And you know what? For now on, they don't even deserve to be called the Phillies. This is the Philadelphia Clown Show. Another bad act by this team where it becomes a circus of a baseball game and they find a way yet again to crumble and fall and just kick themselves right in the teeth and knock themselves out. That's what they do. They are clumsy. This team is just absolutely a mess. They are clumsy. They trip all over themselves. They fall all over the floor, and they just can't seem to pick themselves back up. And they do it to themselves. This is all mental. This is all psychological. And the Philadelphia Phillies find another way to beat themselves and lose another ball game. And at the head of the clown show, it starts off with Alec Bohm again in the 10th inning. Doesn't know to take charge of the baseball. When the ball is hit over towards the first base side, it's his ball. He has to go for it, and he has to direct the traffic there. Chase Shugart has to go cover first base. Bohm slows up to the ball. It's your ball. You gotta say, I got it. That's what you do over at first base. Now, JJ, guess what? We knew that heading on into this, that Alec Bohm, obviously, as your everyday first baseman, was going to have struggles. That's true, too. Oh, that's absolutely true, and that also goes on Dave Dombrowski himself. But this guy, Alec Bohm, after he makes a ridiculous play in the 9th inning on a back end of a dig on a beautiful throw by Bryson Stott, he has to find a way. He has to find a way to come up with another defensive blunder, and that just cost the team. It bites you right in the butt, and that's what he does. That is what Alec Bohm does, and I have been saying it now for a little bit of time. I can't stand him. I want him off my team. I said that even earlier in the year. I can't take it anymore. I cannot take it anymore. The Philadelphia Clown Show finds a way to stand strong again. That's what they are. That's what they do. I said 2 nights ago, I said even last night, I'm watching this team, and I don't even think that they are a baseball team. I said that I was questioning to see if they were even a team. No, they're a bunch of individuals that just go out there and lay down and die. That's who they are. They don't show you fights. They don't show you grit. They don't work every single pitch. Arise does. Bryson Stott does. Justin Crawford does. But where is the fight in this team? It's not there. It's not there. And your manager, don't even get me started on him tonight, because the dude sends out Duran to pitch the 9th inning. Okay? Duran does a phenomenal job. As soon as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, he knows that he has JT on the bench. He knows exactly where he is. And this dude had the balls to wave the white flag and not pinch hit JT. But then in the bottom of the 11th, when they're down by 2, now we need you, Edmundo. JT, if it becomes a tie game, now you'll come on in. What a loser of a mentality to have from your manager. There is no way to sugarcoat that. Egregious, ridiculous, and non-competitive. All the way from top to bottom. Right there. The Blue Jays gave you plenty of opportunities to take this game and end it. Take it, Philadelphia. It's right here. It's right here. Poof. Have it your way. Don Mattingly, after this game, I don't know what to say. It's bad. You think that they can't find a way to upset you? They say, hold my beer. They say, I can one down you. That's what they do. You know what's funny? Their closer went 2 innings. Their closer went 2 innings today. And I'm not, saying that Duran should have went 2 innings. But we've seen Lewis Varland do that quite a bit of time. John Schneider is not afraid to push that button and say, give us 2 innings, because Varland can do it. Duran always has to go 1. Jacob Latz sometimes goes 2. Chapman sometimes goes a couple of innings, even to this day. Why can't our closer do that? I'm just asking. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. And I'm not saying that that's why you lost. But gosh, is this annoying. Let's go back to the beginning, shall we? Let's go back to where it all began. Because Max Scherzer looked like he was pitching when he was on the Washington Nationals. That's what he was doing to you. At one point, Aaron Nola had 86 pitches, and Max Scherzer's pitch count was at 57. 57. 57 pitches, and Aaron Nola's was at 86. Just put that into perspective. That should tell you everything. They want to talk about analytics? Look at the pitch count. Are you making this guy sweat? I said, and you can go back to the tape in the pregame show, I said if the Philadelphia Phillies want to win this game today, get to Max early. I didn't realize that the Philadelphia Phillies, again, got to call like it is, the Philadelphia Clown Show was going to go chasing. This weekend was supposed to be about Chase Utley, but guess what? The Philadelphia Phillies went chasing, and they did their own chase. They had their own chase in mind, and it was not about Chase Utley. It was chasing pitch. It was chase pitches. That's what it was. It was chase pitches, and not put up competitive at-bats. Max Scherzer today. What a disgrace. Don't tell me, oh, JJ, the man went 6 innings. In his last outing, he struck out 5 batters, and he did good. Shove it up your you-know-what. Because guess what? I saw plenty of chances where the Philadelphia Phillies were chasing after the first pitch, and they were swinging at so much junk. I feel like I sound like a broken record. Sometimes, and with all due respect to you guys, this has nothing to do with you, but sometimes I feel like I'm talking to like an elementary school when I'm just talking about the Philadelphia Phillies. Do you know what I mean? Because my anger is directed at them. This is all fundamentals, and it's not rocket science. You don't have to be a baseball, like, purist to be able to see what you're watching, Chad. This is dumb baseball. That's what this team does. They don't look at themselves in the mirror, and they can't fix any of their problems. And they fall into the same exact habits. And they do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Fall flat on their face. Max Scherzer tonight, the numbers. Do you want the stats? 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. And by the way, forget about the 2 earned runs because he was going 5 1/3, and he really gave up 3 hits, no walks, and struck out 4 until Trey Turner and Bryce Harper hit the back-to-back home runs. This dude was just cruising. I saw a lot of innings where this guy had less than 10 pitches, and he was getting away with murder. He was leaving pitches, even out over the center of the plate. The one pitch that Brandon Marsh had was given right on the silver platter, and he popped it up, and he fouled it off. I'm like, wow, that's a pitch that Brandon Marsh should be able to hit. And for some reason, they are just lost. They are lost. Kyle Schwarber right now, I don't even recognize him at this point. What is it going to take for this guy to just head on over to the bench at this point? Because he's not playable. He is unplayable right now. I love Kyle Schwarber, and I think that he is a heck of a player. But he cannot be in a lineup right now because he is lost. He is in San Diego when the rest of the team is supposed to be out in Philadelphia. He is the character when it comes to, or from where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? You know, like when they go on over to like all the different states and stuff, he is literally like, you just can't find him. You can't find him. He's all over the map. And he's not where he's supposed to be right now. He's nowhere near where he's supposed to be. Your big guns tonight, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, and Bryce Harper. You can shove those numbers up your you-know-what. Because, again, they just could not come through. The team as a whole was 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and they left 9 men on base. That's what they did. But Max Scherzer should have been out of the game by the 3rd. He should have been out of the game. The latest, the 4th. At the very latest, he should have been out by the 4th inning. And you couldn't do that. You let him off the hook, and you left him in this game. That's where you got to start off. Aaron Nola, we will obviously hear what the report is. That sucks that he had to leave the game. He wasn't going to last too much longer after he got hit by that line drive. You could see Brooks Raley was warming up anyways. but Aaron Nola, again, puts you in a position to succeed. I know that he allowed the home run in the first inning of Vladdy. He always coughs up that first inning home run, and it's atrocious. And at this point, it is what it is. But again, another game where Aaron Nola actually keeps you in the game and gives you 5 innings, and yet you can't find a way to put up runs for Aaron Nola. Let's talk about Jose Alvarado, shall we? That sounds fun. Jose Alvarado has not reached 100 miles per hour in what feels like 5 years. Kyle Schwarber has not hit a home run in what feels like 5 years, too. But Jose Alvarado just can't pitch. He can't do it. The cutter is terrible. The slider doesn't have any sort of break to it. And when I'm watching him out there, he looks scared. It always seems like that the man is sweating, even before the first pitch starts. It always feels like that he's just sweating before even the first pitch that he throws. That's really what it looks like to me. And I think I'm being nice. Sweaty Alvarado. Got Bateman the strikeout. And then he loses Vladdy. He loses him. And he walks him. And that right there is what bit you right in the butt. He walked Vladimir Guerrero. And then the pitch to Alejandro Kirk that he threw, I mean, he gave him all sinkers. Didn't even throw him one cutter, nothing. Not one other type of pitch. Sinker, 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 sinker. And let's talk about the pitch that he threw to Andres Gimenez. You know what I also feel like I say every single night? They had him on the ropes. Alvarado had Andres Gimenez on the ropes. He actually threw him 2 sinkers, and those were actually good pitches. Painted one at the bottom of the zone at the knees. The other one was at the top of the zone, right over towards the chest. And for some reason, this guy says, you know what? Let me throw one middle. Let me throw one right down the middle to you. I'm not going to give you a cutter. I'm not going to go inside and low and try to play around with a couple of pitches. I'm just going to throw you a sinker that's right down the middle on a silver platter to Andres Gimenez. And bam! All of a sudden, the Jays have life, and it's a tie game. You can't put him away. That is what you've been struggling with all season long if you're Jose Alvarado. Just for some reason, you can't put the hitter away. And you had him 0-2. I don't care if the neighbor's complaining if they come knocking on the door right now. That's how mad I am. 0-2. Throws him all sinkers, and it's down the middle. And all of a sudden, Gimenez just gets a hold of it because he knows exactly what's coming. It's not rocket science. People are, he was literally laughing over at second base. That's what you become. You become a laughing stock. Jose Alvarado has become a laughing stock. And so is the rest of the bullpen. I wish that this was just Jose Alvarado. I wish. Tanner Banks, there's a reason why he's in AAA. Kyle Backus, there's a reason why he can't pitch. Goodbye to Strom. Dave says, we're fine with Banks. We're fine with Jose. Let's just bring back Jose Alvarado, even though he violated the team's rules and the league's rules. Let's just bring him back. Let's bring him back. What a clown. What a clown. What a clown show. You gotta laugh, chat. You have to laugh. That was disgusting. Don Mattingly. We talked about the 9th inning. There's no bunting. There's no bunting. Even when you had a runner over at first base and Stock got on as the leadoff man. Was at the bottom of the 8th inning? No, it wasn't the bottom of the 8th. It was a Rise. Oh, yes, it was. It was a Rise that got on as the leadoff man. I'm watching somebody in particular in my chat. He knows exactly who he is. He says, bunt, 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 bunt. Didn't say it, that time, but he's like, now would be a perfect time to draw down a bunt. And what do you know? Bunting to them is a foreign language. That's how it's become at this point. I don't speak Spanish. They pretty much tell you that they're going to try to hit the long ball again, and they're not going to get cute. They're not going to put the ball in play and do the little things. And that's why Stott came up, and I know he hit a shot out to right field. It was a decent shot there, but they weren't going to get a Rise over to second base and lay down a bunt. They weren't going to surprise the the fielders on the infield and make the defense change. Because that's what analytics tells them to do. Analytics says, let's go for the long ball. It's not rocket science, chat. This is just what they do. This is who they are. This is what they do. It's their identity. So then Stott lines out to right. And Brandon Marsh, in the next at-bat, works up a 3-2 pitch. And he swings over top of this slider that probably could have went 5,000 feet downwards. And yet he's still going to swing at that and catch nothing but air at that point. And he strikes out. And then Crawford gets on with a 4-pitch walk. It really looks like at that moment in time, Braden Fisher didn't want anything to do with them. And then Brian De La Cruz, slider, middle, in, and just can't. He just lines out over to center field. That was your game right there. You couldn't get one run in that 8th inning. Did it make you think about last night with runners at second and third with nobody out? Did it make you think of the bases loaded in the 8th inning in last night's game when a Rise flied out? That was the 7th inning, by the way. Yeah. That's what it made me think of. They're frauds. They're frauds. What absolute frauds they are. And Don Mattingly. Everybody's going to blame Chase Sugar for the pitch that he threw, and it was a bad pitch. It was a bad pitch. Chase went 2 innings, and he actually, I thought, was pitching pretty good, and I was surprised that he didn't give up a home run. But guess who put him in that position? Don did. Don put him in that position. And while, again, Dave Dombrowski, it all finds a way to come back on him as well, Don just cannot manage a bullpen. Get this dude far away from a bullpen as much as possible because he makes it a blowpen. That's what he does. He makes it a blowpen. It becomes kaboom instead of kaboom. One for 9. Aaron Nola gets his 2,000th strikeout today. This is also alumni weekend. Do you even care? Does it look like to you, when you're watching this game, that heads are shaking? Does it look like to you that when you watch them in the game, I don't care what goes on behind closed doors, in the game, does it look like that anybody out there is giving a damn of this team? Does it look like any of the players or the coaches go out there? I'm like watching tonight. Caleb Cotham, out of all people, is looking at Don. And Don is just looking at him at one point in time. The camera's right on the both of them. And Don just throws his hands up in the air. And Caleb throws his hands up in the air. Like, it's like when a dog cocks its head. They just like look at each other and they're like, I don't know what to do. Do you? Like, oh my gosh. Just an absolute crap show. It's laughable, but it's just sad and it's painful. And this is how I'm coping with the pain tonight, chat. This team can't hurt me anymore because this is who they are. People have been trying to tell me this for a while. And I've just been smiling. You know, I've been trying to be as positive as I possibly can. And obviously, I'm still going to be rooting for this team. But, geez, you make me freaking sick. I was so close. I was so freaking close right there to cursing and dropping a bomb myself. Funny, I came close to dropping a bomb, and meanwhile, your home run leader, who has only had one home run since the All-Star break, has not even been able to drop a bomb since. It's been over 2 weeks. I almost did one. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And there's a lot of stuff that I've missed. There's a lot of stuff that I have not gone over. I know. But this is just fresh. And it feels like that actually that these games have been running on into each other. So I'm like, I can't even talk about anything good tonight. Like, I did address that Aaron Nola did a good job in this game and kept you involved. I actually wouldn't even call it a good job. I can't even say that he's done a good job because he has not lived up to his contract expectations. So I feel like, see, if I even say that he does a good job, it's really not a good job because we're just putting a carpet, we're sweeping everything under the carpet, and we're putting the skeleton in our closet. And we're not digging up a grave, and we're not talking about what needs to be happening, what should be happening. What Aaron Nola should do with this contract is go 7 innings and have 9 strikeouts and 1 earned run. But no, he has not even gone 7 innings. He has not even gone 8 innings at all this year. He has not done that. He has not lived up to his contract at all. And musical bases, how's that been working for the Philadelphia Phillies? Your musical bases. Another act with this clown show. You got the blow pen, you got musical bases, and then you got like Tweedledee and Tweedledum just like looking at each other when a pitcher is out there in a jam. And they just stare at each other. And it looks like that they're just freezing and they don't know what to do and they're cocking their head like they're dogs. 610-314-0844. I think I've said my piece. I'm sure that there's going to be more fire and more vomit coming out of my mouth in a little bit. But the floor is all yours, man. Have at it. Have at it with this team. Call on in and tell me... Try to jump me off, try to get me off the ledge right now. If you still really believe in this team, get me off the ledge. Get me off the ledge. And if you can't do it, have at it with this team. Have at it with them. 610-314-0844. We got our first caller on the line. What do you want to talk about today with this Philadelphia clown show? You're up. What's going on, my friend?
It's Craig calling.
What's up, Craig? Fire away. Fire away.
It's such a clown show right now because you nailed everything that we discussed the other day. The bullpen, the whole situation with the offense, the defense, the home runs, just getting runners on board, it goes back just to simple, small ball, they don't have to do too much. But then you have Don out there, and he has no clue what he's freaking doing in Philly at all. I'm laughing with you because honestly, Don is like, send him back in the ship and like send him down the coast. Seriously, send him back to wherever he came from because he's not on this planet. He's not on this earth. I don't know where he came from or what he's doing, but he is messing this whole agenda up. Ever since the All-Star break, the Phillies went downhill. I think we can all agree on that.
We could even make the argument, my friend, and go back to all the way to Kansas City at the very beginning of July because they were losing. Yeah. And again, the Royals are just not a good team, but they were even shooting themselves in the foot in that series too. They were.
Exactly, but then they were like, "Oh, I want to blame the bullpen." I wanted to. And then you had Bryce Harper, and he was talking, but he was like, he wasn't swinging the bat like he normally does. You don't have Schwarber coming up like he normally does. I mean, I look at Kyle Schwarber, and I see, just procrastination in an aspect.
Craig, when was the last time Kyle Schwarber was a threat at the plate?
June?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since he's been a very, good threat to the offense. Yeah. But when it comes to the defense, I mean, come on. If you can't turn a double play, if you can't get things, rolling, then you shouldn't be in, any position to even be in, the clubhouse. And you mentioned the other day, which was a very valid point. Chase Utley is a great player, and that was his day.
It was
him and his family, and it makes me emotional looking back at those moments because I look at that and he was like, I wouldn't have had, quote, I wouldn't have had, this and this and this if it wasn't for these players.
Craig, Chase Utley weekend turned into Chase Pitches weekend. Yeah. That's what happened. It turned into Chase Pitches when it comes to the offense.
Unfortunately it did. I just really feel bad for, just the Phillies organization. Do I think they need to fire Don? Heck yeah. He's an intern.
Craig, what do you think? I hate to cut you off, but I have to get your opinion about this. What do you think about Dave Dombrowski getting an extension? Because I still go back to the Matt Gelb article, and I still think about that quote. I don't know if you saw my YouTube short, but I was ready to go to bed like a couple of weeks ago. Like the guy, your owner wants to extend him. Like,
I don't think so. It's not best for the team. I mean, if they want to go out there and play, major league like the movie, that's fine. Go out there and do it. Yeah. But don't make a fool of yourself. Go out there and play for the team. Play for Philly. Play for the underdog. Play for the people.
It's ridiculous.
That's what Philly is built around. Is the people that are there.
Yep. For
the
sure.
Fans.
For sure, Craig. Absolutely. Craig, great phone call as usual. I love you so much, buddy. I'm sorry that you had to be put through that absolute slob.
Yeah, it happened before,
Yep.
when they went through their percussions, when, after the All-Star break, they get into a funk.
Absolutely. That's what they
You
do.
know,
I'm
trade
rewatching this
deadline.
replay. I'm rewatching the replay of
Yeah.
Alec Boehm's blunder over at first base, and I can't understand.
But what I'm going to leave you with is they can't point fingers at each other, because there's four more looking back at you.
That's right. They can't be the Spider-Man, the whole Spider-Man meme, like where they're just pointing at all the different Spider-Mans. They got to look into a mirror.
Yeah.
They got to get they have to get 75 mirrors in that clubhouse, and every single person, including the GM and the president of baseball ops and the owner, they all have to look at themselves in the mirror every single day.
And another, I'll leave you with this, and I'll let you go. Like, I don't want to interrupt you. Is Don even capable of running a team?
I thought he was, but obviously he can't manage a bullpen. That's for sure. And the dude waves the white flag heading on into the ninth inning and says, we're not going to pinch hit, JT. We're not going to pinch hit for Garrett Stubbs. We're not going to do that. He's going to lead off the inning. He's fine. But then, meanwhile, in the bottom of the 11th, and they're down by 2, now Edmundo Sosa is ready to come on up to bat for Garrett Stubbs. Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yep. No, just do it then. That's what a winning coach does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I
Makes
mean,
me
Larry
sick.
Bowe was there, and I feel bad for them. Charlie Manuel.
I hear you, man. I hear you loud and clear. All right, Craig, I got to get going,
sad.
but I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for calling on in. I'll talk to you soon.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
well, you have a good night, JJ.
You too. Shout out to Craig in the chat. Drop an MVP for Craig. Oh my gosh, dude! There's literally somebody that said the disrespect towards Aaron Nola by this fan base is absolutely embarrassing. I can't even go there tonight, man. I can't even go there. Like we're gonna do that right now after this type of a loss. What are you doing? It makes no sense. We can't even go there. We can't even do that. Trey Turner, this is what he had to say. This was on hitting a home run on his friend Max Scherzer. Do I even want to play the quote? I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't want to do it right now. I was trying not to laugh running the bases tonight. That was his quote. That's what he said. I don't have to play it. I don't even have to play it. It makes no sense. We got another phone call coming on in. What's going on, my friend? How are you doing after another egregious, disgusting loss from the Philadelphia Phillies? Have at it.
I think it's best we start off with this. So imagine you are on a ship, and then you get lost in the fog, and you get stranded onto an island, and the island is, there's no directions, and there's nowhere for you to go, and there's no way trying to figure out how to get some help. That's pretty much the best way to describe what the Phillies are right now.
It's amazing.
They are lost.
Yeah.
Their identity is gone, and now they are stranded. They don't know where to go, and these last couple of games have proven that this team, lost. The offense disappeared. The defense has been, egregious. the lack of accountability, the lack of fight, the lack of heart. You can see all of that just doesn't make these couple games.
Cool, Jay. Remember how, like last year, you called on in one day, and I asked you specifically, does this team even have a cultural identity to them? Do you remember that question that I asked to you?
I did. I remember that very well. And I told you, I said, no.
Yes,
I don't
you did.
think so.
You did.
They just still do not have an identity. They don't know what the.
I was just going to say, you actually said, no, they don't. As a matter of fact, JJ, they don't have any balls. That's what you said. I was like, wow. Okay, cool, Jay. That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's what you said. You said that they don't have any balls.
And they literally do not. They just accessible games. Like, they've had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to win these games in the extra innings. And somehow, some way, they find a way to not win in extra innings and let the other team get their power back. Like, we know this Blue Jays team has not been, it's been on and off this season. And they've given the opportunity. They kept screwing up and stuff. This is loaded, and kept you can't. And they capitalize. They capitalize on those kind of opportunities, and that's focusing slowly on one person. I look at Alex Bone. Alex Bone has just been egregious. He can't you can't hit a broad side of a barn. So I don't know what.
Nah.
I don't know if he's just I don't know what happened, but clearly he hasn't been, on it.
His back has really been bothering him ever since the home run derby, and he has just not been the same. And it's just sad because the Philadelphia Phillies are like he right now, when he is up to bats, he is the type of guy that is just getting laughed at by pitchers. Pitchers are like, oh my gosh, we got to face Kyle Schwarber. This should be easy. Let's throw him off junk, and let's not even throw him a fastball. And if we're going to throw him a fastball, it has to be on the outside corner, and it has to be at an opportune time where he's not anticipating the fastball coming. Teams have adjusted, and they're just throwing him all breaking balls, and he's chasing after every single pitch.
Yeah, but that cannot happen. And you made a good point when talking about the injuries. I was going to get to that too. Now that we are not getting injury prone, and now it gets back to the point that I didn't do not like is that is this team even healthy? He has to really. We really have players that are mid their 30s and now getting injured, call the seniors for God's sake.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Cool, Jay, thank you so much for calling on into the show. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Of course, man. You have a good night.
You too. You too, man. Shout out to Cool J, man. Yeah. Kyle Schwarber is a joke right now. Kyle Schwarber used to actually hit home runs off of lefties, and now he's striking out left and right against lefties, obviously as a lefty. But, yeah. Anyhow, you know what's also a joke, chat? I just have to sort of beat the dead horse here, or just dig the grave deeper. I think that's a better terminology. With all of this said about the bullpen, guess who is still in AAA? Alex McFarland. A dude that literally comes on into a game and actually does pretty decent. pretty decent. Locating his fastball, locating his sliders, getting some really good swing and miss stuff, striking out guys and making hitters off balance. Dave Dombrowski said, you know what? We're going to send this guy to AAA. First of all, we're going to call him up. We're going to call him up from AA to the majors, which is a desperate move, obviously, by this team because it shows that they don't have anybody that they can trust. But then when he actually pitches really well, they say, okay, that's it. One outing. We saw you throw 102 7 times in that outing. We don't need to see you again. Goodbye. You're going down to the minors. The dude is literally getting the Trey Burke treatment from the 2017 to 2018, 18 to 19 Philadelphia 76ers, where the 76ers, again, didn't have any ball handlers on that basketball team. They didn't have guys that could just, play basketball and just hoop. And just score, drive the basketball, dribble the basketball, and just play like an actual guard and take it right to the cup. Trey Burke was one of those guys, and obviously Brett Brown said goodbye to him and pretty much put him on the back end of the bench and put him straight up on an island and said, yep, you're not even gonna sniff any sort of minutes on this team filled with Al Horford, all these huge bigs that could not even dribble a basketball except for Ben Simmons. But no, let's not actually have the guards play, and let's just get the big guys the ball and just play this quote-unquote smash-mouth defense. The Philadelphia Phillies are giving Alex McFarland the same treatment when it comes to Trey Burke and what he was doing with the Philadelphia 76ers in 2018 and 2019. That's what they're doing. Let's not have a guy that throws hard and a guy that actually has really good velocity on his pitches. Let's just send him down to AAA. Maybe AAA can win a World Series with him, and that's cool. Because clearly the big league team doesn't want to win a World Series. Maybe he can help lead them to a World Series. I don't know. Again, it's the Philadelphia Clown Show. Act 1, play musical bases. Act 2, shoot yourself in the foot. Act 3, mismanage the bullpen. That's what it is. They ruined it for Utley and the alumni. Another great quote. The Philadelphia Clown Show. It's true. That's what they are. J-Roll was talking to them this year. Like this team doesn't want to be like the 08 team. He said no team has. Says Scoodin with Scoob. Scoob, this team, again, they're not a team. They're individuals. Gotta call it like it is. They're just a beer league. A beer softball league team, like Jack said 2 weeks ago. They don't care. They don't pick you up. They don't have the next man up mentality. They could care less if they could care less even if they strike out. That's what it looks like. I gotta call it like it is. Do they have any fight? Because clearly, even in the dugout during the game, the cameras would be showing, passion or just frustration in the dugouts, or guys that are just, trying to talk to other people and holding them accountable. There would be more conversations around that sort of stuff. Why does that not happen during the game? If it's happening behind closed doors, how come we don't see it? How come we don't hear about it? Well, it's because they aren't having these conversations. And it's because it's more about the athletes and less about the team. The athletes have their own batting coaches. They have their own trainers, and it's not the same. It's not the same. Scherzer looked like his 2016 self out there. Yes, he did. The Philadelphia Phillies made him turn back the clock, and he was actually striking out guys left and right. For supporting a team that can't get out of its own way, screw them. Go Birds. Baseball season is done. It's football season right now, says Dave. I love you so much, buddy. Just pitiful. Schwarber's unplayable. Might not even get to 45 home runs, says David. You can't play him. You cannot play him. He looks like he's a skeleton out there. He looks like he's a skeleton. So, that's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like, chat. Here's a quote. I like this. Good teams find ways to win games like Wednesday games, like yesterday games, like today, other games that were winnable. However, the Philadelphia Phillies are not a good team, and don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking that they're a good team, because they would have won games like that. Exactly. Couldn't have said that any better. From this person on YouTube. Or sorry, from this person on X. Phillies home run tracker. I love Phillies baseball more than anything in life. They have no shot of winning anything this year. They're a broken team in need of a real manager. Between the bullpen, Bohm, manager, etc., it's just awful baseball being played. It hasn't been a fun season. And I would actually not say that. I would say that it hasn't been a fun July and a fun August and even a fun April. But the bottom line is that it hasn't been the season that we all wanted it to be. That's right. I also don't understand why Crawford didn't bunt. That's a Don Mattingly thing, too. Remember when Don Mattingly sent Bryce Harper the other day to go on over to second base, and they ended up blowing that game? What kind of manager makes that decision? When, again, all you have to do, there's 2 outs. I can understand if there's 1 out there, but there's 2 outs. And you know that Luis Ariz is up next. Luis Ariz is in the batter's box. Second base, you got a runner there, and now first base is wide open. You're going to face Alec Bohm. That's what the Nationals are going to do. They're not dumb. Why even send Harper in the first place there? It doesn't make sense, chat. This team needs therapy. They need help. They are disgusting. They make me sick. We'll read a couple more, and then that's going to do it. All right? That's going to do it. By the end of the season, they're going to miss the playoffs and be 10 games under 500, just like in April. I've been sober for a few months, and, man, this team really makes me want to drink, says M. Destroyer. What's going on, man? Dude, congratulations on being sober. That's awesome, man. I have mad love and respect for you for doing that. Keep it up. Keep up the good work, man. Fist pump to you. Fist pump to you, man. Every time Nola starts, the bats go cold. The minute he's no longer in the game, they start scoring. I honestly think that it might be intentional. They're cursed. They're a cursed team. And we didn't even hear any updates about Aaron Nola. I don't like the sound of that either. I don't like the sound of that. I think that's it. I think that's all that we have. This team plays again tomorrow, chat. 1:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Jesus Luzardo is on the bump. I love Zeus. I have all the confidence in Zeus. Tomorrow is Luzardo Day. And they better have his back. They better have his back, man. All right, chat. I love you all very, very much. All right. We'll be back at it tomorrow. I will catch you all on the next one. And I will see you all in the afternoon early. All right. Adios. Peace out.